So in terms of managing up to get information from school directors, I think that in my specific situation, because my school director was also administrator at the campus that I was working at and the SOM at, this maybe looked a little bit different than it would at other school sites, but I think like the managing up process is more or less the same. I just have less avenues that I needed to go to because I didn't have to like coordinate communication between Reagan administrators and Brian, who's my school director. But in terms of managing up to get information, I found that preparing, like scheduling check-ins was something that I really think is challenging to do, but something that's really important for good communication between a SOM and a school director. And then when you have that check-in, not just being like, hey, can we check in, and then not coming with anything, like way over prepare for that meeting. I think that's the best way to manage up is to like have a laundry list of any question that you could possibly think of, and to be taking notes the entire time and writing down any question you have, because I found that, at least in my experience, those meetings were largely led by me, and the school director like wasn't necessarily sure what needed to be checked in about. So just over preparing for those would be my advice for the best way to manage up. As far as communicating with your school team or staff members, I think when it comes to communicating with staff members at the school, it's best to like streamline that communication through a point person. So for me, if I need to communicate something with FAs, I would communicate it to my staff members. Before core members arrived in the morning, we had a staff meeting, and I worked out with my school director that during that time that would be where I would communicate information to the school team. And then if it was something like that was a last second change, then I would email them, and then you probably group me them to check their email if it was a long announcement, or just use GroupMe if it was a short announcement. But I think when I think about feedback that we got in surveys, not being streamlined with everyone who's working on the Reagan team was like some feedback we got that like CMAs didn't know the same things that SOMs knew that STs knew, and so I think that's even something that we could have improved on, is just making sure that everyone is on the same page and everyone is looped in whenever there's a logistical change, because it ultimately falls back on you if your CMA doesn't know something.